We've got Rod Woodson, NFL great, and also a Boston guy from the Drug Enforcement Administration, Jon Delena.
Come on, Zol.
Revere.
From Revere.
This is great. This is great.
Here to talk to us about how one pill can kill, which is a very important message. What is that message? It's better that you deliver it.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, and I'm so excited to be here with Rod and obviously with you guys. But we lost 112,000 Americans last year to a drug poisoning, a drug overdose death. We've never seen a drug as potent as fentanyl. Literally 2 milligrams of fentanyl is all it takes to kill somebody. It's enough to fit on the tip of a pencil.
Tip of a pencil. That's
7 out of 10 pills that DEA seizes right now contains a potentially deadly dose, and we seized 78 million of those pills last year. Too many of our communities, particularly in Boston, where I grew up, too many of our communities, too many families have been ravaged by this. That's why we want to get the message out there that one pill can kill. We've never seen anything like this. These cartels are manufacturing pills to look exactly like a Percocet, a Xanax, and Adderall. They want people to buy them on social media. They want to trick you into taking them. They want to addict as many Americans as they can. And if they kill people along the way, which they continue to do, they're not moved by that at all. So we need to get that message out there now more than ever.
Where's it coming from?
It comes from Mexico right now. So we're talking about a switch for these cartels that is making them billions of dollars. It's no longer a plant-based drug. It's synthetic. So they get chemicals from China all day long. The Jalisco and Sinaloa cartels are manufacturing this drug by the billions, making these pills. We're making it easier for them to get it into the country because they can backpack 1 million pills, different than you can take 1,000 kilos and try to move it in a truck. And they're ending up in all of our communities. All of our schools, we're seeing this play out all over Boston, unfortunately. All the great communities where I grew up, where I still have friends and family, have been ravaged by this. And this is why it's so important to partner with somebody like Rod and the NFL Alumni Association, where we want to continue to get this message out there. Too many people are losing their lives, though.
Rod, why is this important to you?
It's personal for me. So my oldest son was addicted when he was younger. Fortunately enough, he's way better today, in his early 30s. Clean, good kid, but not having the same issue. I mean, he took different things, and if it would have been like it was today, he might not be with us anymore. And that to me is like I have to make sure that he's all right every single day, because it's all, once you're addicted, it's always with you. And we know that I want to make sure that young kids and family members don't lose someone unnecessarily because they're making bad decisions.
John, when people think of the DEA, they think of guys like kicking in doors and having a drug raid. But obviously there's more to it than that. This is about a message of getting the word out.
Yeah, and for the 28 years that I've been with DEA, most of it was kicking in doors and doing drug raids. But we realized that our shield, much like the shield of the NFL, carries a lot of weight, and we have to get the message out there. We've connected with families all around the country that just find their children dead right now because they went on social media and they thought they were buying a legitimate prescription pill. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening, you cannot buy legitimate prescription medication off of social media. There are no safe prescription pills that are out there right now unless it was prescribed to you by your doctor, filled at your pharmacist, and in your possession. And you know this, in New England, it's blue-collar, hard-working people, and people are getting mixed up thinking that they're buying pills off the street that are safe, and there are no safe pills.
So my question would be, and I get the message, you don't want someone trying it recreationally by way of social media or thinking, this is just something that's fun or it's a party drug or anything like that. But isn't the bigger problem people that have become addicted after being prescribed drugs and then no longer being prescribed those drugs? I mean, how do you solve that problem?
Yeah, make no mistake about it. We're in that position because what happened years ago with a lot of the overprescribing and everything that happened with opioids. Now, they've made some controls on that, but the addiction hasn't gone away. And what the cartels did was they said, we realize there's still addiction there, right? And what they've done is they found an easier method to get it into people's homes, and that's in the form of these pills. So it's no longer a syringe. It's no longer a powder. It's no longer sort of the stigma that's associated with that. They're making it easier. And these are pills, by the way, that as a 28-year veteran of DEA, I can't look at it and tell the difference. It isn't until we get it to our lab. And this is really what it comes down to. Really, right now, there is no safe use because everything that's out there. And again, I'll say it again, we seized alone 78 million pills last year and 12,000 pounds of powder. That's enough to kill 389 million Americans.
Jesus.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What can people do that are listening right now do to help in their communities? Because as you mentioned, it is in our communities. It's impacted a lot of us and people that we know and love. If you're listening right now, what can you do aside from spreading the word, or is that the most
My
important
3 kids are on TikTok, so like,
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's the worry, right? Because they're getting to these kids on TikTok, Snapchat, and Insta, and they're trying to get the message to them. What everybody can do is exactly what Hall of Famer Rod Woodson is doing, and that's get out there and talk about it and have the conversation. And this is the perfect forum for it, right? You know, the greatest athletes in the world are here. Everybody's paying attention to everything that's going on, and that's why we're here. I'm here. You know, DEA sent me here to talk about this because it's so important. You have to start with the conversation, and by the way, you have to start with the kids that are the youngest. You have to start telling them now about these dangers so that when it is time that they are faced with a decision, they can make a good, healthy, empowered decision.
Rod, you live here. I didn't know you lived here. There's a football game being played this weekend, Super Bowl 58. I'll shock you. It's in this city. I'll shock you. The Raiders are the Vegas Raiders now.
You know what? It's.
Did you ever think this would happen?
Well, you know, the crazy thing is, go years ago. Vegas in gambling in the NFL was like taboo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, man.
In Pittsburgh, we have bookies on corners, like in local VFWs.
You cannot put those two together. But there's a casino in every city.
Yeah.
You know, so there's gambling everywhere, and I think the NFL realizes that. And then, you know, for Mark Davis, this is the best move he's ever made in his life. I mean, he's making some really good money. Great stadium, great fan base. You know, I think a really good hire with Antonio Pierce. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, it's been fun to kind of watch. I've been a Raider fan since I've been 9 years old. I played for the Powell Raiders when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So that was my childhood team. But then I got to play 10 years for the Steelers, a great organization. You know, I spent the 1 year with the 49ers when Eddie D was in his last year. Great human being. Go to the Baltimore Ravens when Art Modell and Steve Busciotti were part of it. Another great team. And then I go to the Raiders and the legend, Al Davis. Yeah, he's there. And so I got to play for 4 iconic teams. To see the NFL here is pretty amazing because the NFL and gambling was so separated. But they understand. They got DraftKings as a partner.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an old signage in every end zone.
They
right?
understand what it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fun to see. It's fun to be around. This place is so entertaining from just, you know, musical standpoint, food, but sporting. I mean, you got football,
Yep.
you got baseball coming, you got hockey.
We went to the hockey
You
game
got
last
the girls
night.
basketball team,
Yeah.
and there's going to be pro
NBA.
basketball
Yeah.
here eventually.
Yeah, I bet that's not far behind. It's
No.
been discussed and rumored for a
Especially
long
LeBron,
time.
get him behind it like he
Oh, it might
wants
be
to.
Fenway Sports Group that's running that team at some point
It could
soon.
be. Rod, you've been on both sides of this game. You've walked away a champion. You've been on the other side with the Raiders. You know, what are your memories of playing in a Super Bowl?
Man, when the confetti's not yours, it sucks. It really does. I mean, but you think as an athlete, you play to be collectively, you play to be the best in what you do. And how do you become the best? You got to win the Super Bowl. You have to win the Lombardi Trophy. You have to bring a ring home to your house. Mm-hmm. That's the way you are. And I think for most players, you know, when I played for the Steelers, we went and we lost, right, to the Dallas Cowboys. And then I go to the Baltimore Ravens, and we build a really good franchise, and we have one of the best defenses ever, and we win a Super Bowl. And then I get to go 2 years later to the Raiders, and we go back, and you lose. It's one of those. It's not too big, and a lot of people make I think a big deal when you talk about I think the 49ers only have 9 players coming back from the old team that played in the previous Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter because the game is still the same, still the length,
Sure.
the same time frame, it's the same field. The only thing's different is halftime is longer. So I think for us, that when that confetti falls and it's yours, and you know you got to tell your own, hey, I wear size 12, 12 ring. Right, let me get the ring.
That's great.
Get the ring. And again, Hall of Famer Rod Woodson, Jon Delena from the DEA. Appreciate your time and appreciate you spending time with us and spreading this message. Again, one pill can kill.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.